everybody. I'd like to welcome you guys today to another beautiful program that we have for you. It is beautiful because it keeps getting better and better. Okay. We've been talking about the June 12th protest. And when we started, a lot of you were asking us, why do we need to protest? Well, the interesting thing is that now we have so many reasons. Like if we had a couple of reasons when we started talking 3 days ago to protest, now we have 10 times those reasons to protest. And you're going to hear us talk about some of them today. What we have been doing is we've been focusing on one area or one state to talk about the reasons why we have to protest. And today we have in our midst someone, we're going to be focusing on a lot of other things, but we're going to zoom in on Rivers State, okay? Governor Wike and all the things that are happening there to the citizens there. And we have someone here who I'm going to let him introduce himself later, but someone who knows about Rivers State, and he's going to lead this discussion. But before we go on, I'm going to have to introduce our regular panelists here. I'm going to start with the man in orange. He's going to introduce himself. I'm not going to mess anybody's name today. So the man in orange is going to go first.
Good evening, citizens. Citizen Bola Oborode here from the UK, London.
All right.
Take it back.
Then the guy from the Republic of
United African Republic. You know, they have not banned Twitter in our country. It's just in Nigeria.
So go ahead.
So this is Sonia Olujuwon from United African Republic.
Okay, the other Republican man. Go ahead.
All right. Good evening, Nigerians in Nigeria and those in diaspora. This is still Femi Adeyeye from Republic of Songhai. That was what this man actually said, Professor Oyebode. That's his own proposal to name Nigeria.
All right.
Republic of Songhai.
And then we have our guest tonight. Please go ahead and introduce yourself.
Okay, my name is Comrade Enifa George Will. I am from the troubled waters of Rivers State. Ironically, those in Biafra said that Rivers is in Biafra. That's our former friends. Those in United UARO, that's people like Juwon, say that the Rivers State is in UARO. And of course, some people still argue that we are in Nigeria. So I think we are just struggling. The state is just struggling to belong to any of it.
So you don't even know where you belong to.
You're just there.
You don't even know where you belong to. I don't know why, guys. I don't think I'm on. Admin. Okay. I'm good. All right. So, Comrade Enifa George Will, it's good to have you in our midst today. Okay, it's usually an interesting thing that we do here. So, I promise you that you're gonna have a good time here. That's by way of joining other comrades to discuss the issues on ground. But we're also privileged that we have somebody who is on ground to tell us the situation there. Now, recently, because we're trying to look at the situation on ground and whether we need to protest or not. Recently, the governor of Rivers State, Governor Nyesom Wike, I don't know what he drank that morning, but probably because of the team attire that he was wearing, he threatened that he was going to kill people and he was going to do that extrajudiciously and nobody will say anything. And when he kills you, your parents will not even know. They just kill you and throw you away. I couldn't believe I was hearing that from the governor of a state. But you know what? Don't believe what I tell you. Let's play that tape. And when we play that tape, we'll let other people help us and hear what we heard, because sometimes when only you hear something, you may not really understand it very well. But when other people follow you hear it, you go ask them, "Oh boy, follow me hear this thing." Oh, look, I know whether now only me I've been waiting. So I'm gonna go to the video. It's on Twitter, okay? It's on Twitter, but I'll play it. We will hear it, and then we'll come back and talk about it. And you can tell us how Rivers people, what they think about it. So here is the video. Those of us back on the on social media handles. I hope you guys can see and hear it. The panelists, I don't know whether you guys can hear it too. The other day we couldn't hear it. So let me make sure that I share. Oga admin, will you let me share?
Of course, you can go ahead.
Okay, go ahead and share. Okay, let me make sure that I can share. You see, disabled participants. So this man, you always block everything with lock and key. You lock everything with lock and key, then you won't let us share.
I would have done this setting.
Okay, you know what? I'm going to share the video. Don't worry. Our guests will hear it, and then we will discuss about it later. Because I'm disabled. It's disabled. I'm not able to share. Unless you can fix it now. Change the co-host to the other of my account. I see the problem now. Put the co-host to the other one. Okay.
To the other one.
Yeah, I have to. Okay, that was the problem. Make the other of my profile the co-host.
Done.
Yes. Sorry about that. It was my problem. It's because I'm now a member of United Arab Republic of Nigeria. Jesus Christ.
This is we talk about actually they are sad things actually.
I'm not gonna kill me for that in that country.
You just have to.
All right, let's play the video.
Did they not go down? Did they go down? So when people say IPOP, they are carrying juju. No problem. That's what you say. But what's happening? Are they not dying? So let nobody deceive you that juju. Don't ever you. So now, take today, all of you criminals who are here, all of you criminals who are here, take today, 2nd of June 2021, and repent. If you don't repent, the period has come. You will die. Your parents will not bury you. We will bury you like vulture. Either your hand will be cut off, or they will blow your head off. Your parents will not even know that you are dead. They will say, "Oh, their son went to look for money." Which money? The man is gone. And you know, will not tell your parents that you are gone. Who tell them? Because an armed robber has no business for us to say he has parents. No. No armed robber has parents. No armed robber. So nobody should, because of what you are doing now, challenging people, destroying people, killing them. You go to Yubogo, you go here, you go to the water, bunkering, killing people, and you think you will go free. You will never go free. So, all of you looking at me as if you are my supporter, carry your support and go.
Okay. You guys heard him clearly. He said armed robbers do not have parents, that they will make sure when they kill whoever, cut off their hands, all of those things. What do you have to say about that, NFA Judge Will?
First of all, let me apologize on behalf of the good people of Rivers State. Very educated, exposed People of Rivers State, let me apologize. We would like to apologize on behalf of our governor over that statement. The statement is despicable, terrible, and unbecoming of a governor in a 21st century country, in the 21st century world, in a country that pretends to practice constitutional democracy, that pretends to follow the path of the rule of law. We think that, especially coming from a lawyer, not just a lawyer who is a member of the body of benchers, the highest law body as far as Nigeria is concerned. It's I think it's embarrassing to Rivers people. But what we would like to say too that I haven't apologized that we are not like that. We would like to say too that I think it's on the coming of His Excellency the Governor of Rivers State to be making such kind of unguided statements. Just recently, he had made remarks, similar to this, and like he will always say, I will do it. I will demolish your properties. If you build here, I will not pay compensation, and nothing will happen. Nothing will happen. And this attitude of saying nothing will happen is what actually angers citizens, especially Rivers people, and those who have the will would want to challenge such excesses coming from a lawyer, and of course, a governor of the 21st century, Nigeria. That straight one, that is my response to that particular statement of the governor. I have other things I equally who against the governor. Then in course of our conversation, of course, I will do well to give my own position as far as those matters and other matters and several reasons why Rivers people should be part of any protest against the current Nigerian ruling elite.
All right. Thank you so much. Let me go to Comrade Juwan. How are you doing in the Republic of Arab Nigeria?
We are still using Twitter.
Okay. See, this high-handedness from leadership in Nigeria, I don't know what you have to say. We're just hearing what came out of state governor. And then on the federal level, between the commissioner, the minister of information, and whoever presidency, they have now decided to ban Twitter activities in Nigeria. What do you have to say to that?
Well, my reaction to that actually was the moment I saw it, my first instinct in a tweet I made was that, look, if as Nigerian people, if we do not, in the first instance, see this as a medium to resist this so-called suspension of Twitter, because suspension of Twitter is not necessarily suspension of Twitter as a company. No, it's the suspension and violent attack on Nigeria, the freedom of expression of the Nigerian people. You see, you have a government that does not, when you go to the streets, they shoot at you, they kill you, or when you, or at the very best, when they get you arrested, you get tortured, you get illegal detention. So they want to completely, they've completely criminalized street protest. Now, young people found an alternative on a different street that we like to call Twitter Street. Now, the government felt, no, they're not comfortable with young people expressing their opinion, even on Twitter. Now, immediately, they moved against Twitter to attack the voices of the Nigerian young people, especially 70% of Nigeria's population, young people of this country. That is exactly what had happened with the ban of Twitter. So
I think they banned Juan too on Zoom.
The Constitution. You understand? We could just wake up the following morning and discover that the Nigerian government has suspended the Constitution. That's the next thing we should expect. Because you see, these are chapters. They are chapters to their dictatorship. Already Nigeria is in a dictatorship. In fact, we are tending in the lines of barbarism. But now I don't know. Even I particularly, I don't think anybody can tell where we are headed other than to call it doom. So it is the same character, and that's why you see when Comrade George was like saying that he was disappointed in the governor of Rivers State. And why will you be disappointed in Wike? I mean, he's serving under a tyrant, Buhari. You understand? So, truth be told, they are one of the same thing. They both have intense hatred. If there are other words to qualify hatred, we need to use them. And probably we may need to consult the Nobel laureate Wole Soyinka to give us a better word that equates what they are doing right now. They have terrible, terrible hatred for the Nigerian people, whether irrespective of where you come from, as long as you are a poor man, or as long as you are someone who is not in the house of power, as long as you do not belong to their clique, as long as you are not their friends, you are not their children, they have terrible, passionate hate against the Nigerian people. And well, for me, I feel that there are no two ways about it. Nigerian people at this stage, we have no choice. The only road to freedom is the streets. In fact, there is no way in the first instance, and I mean this both literally and concretely speaking. Wherever you are going to, you have to pass through the streets. But this time around, we don't need the vehicle. We need to put our 2 feet on the ground and raise our fists to the head.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Citizen Bola, I want to come to you. You live in the UK. Imagine a situation where you wake up one day and you hear that Boris just said Twitter can no longer function in the UK. I mean, compare this recently in Uganda during the elections, they just cut off internet. How do you see what is going on in Nigeria vis-a-vis what is going on in other parts of the world?
Well, welcome, citizens. Let's be honest. The Nigerian government stated that they were going to implement laws to ban hate speech, if we remember correctly, on all forms of social media. What then happened was the same social media they were looking to control then banned the Nigerian governance, because that's exactly what we the Nigerian government has been banned, not only by Twitter, it's led to believe also being banned now by Facebook from making comments which are determined as hate speech. So it's very strange that we allegedly still have a place where law and order is running, but the Attorney General has not issued charges of hate speech against the presidency, whoever the presidency is, whoever it was who made that tweet. Will that person be held to account? Because by international standards, that person has been deemed as making hate speech against the entire country. This is the same thing which they removed Colonel Gaddafi from power from in Libya. So our retired Major General, because we can't call him the presidency anymore, our retired Major General, wherever he is, whatever he's doing, he's definitely not running the country. So such a thing would not be allowed in a country where the citizens were active. So it falls to citizens to do what they feel is necessary. It's as though we're waiting for somebody else to come and do what we are supposed to do. The international community, you're saying, would Boris Johnson do this or would Joe Biden do that? He or they would not be allowed to do that. As you've seen in America, in the UK, people took to the streets, regardless of the consequences, whether there was pandemic, whether there was fines, whether there was police harassment, people took to the streets. So it falls again to people who consider themselves to be citizens, to take those citizens' rights and project themselves to a place where their voices will count.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Guys, I'm going to come to you, Femi, now. let's play the devil's advocate. I mean, somebody has to be on Buhari's side. So I'm going to choose.
Yeah.
Why?
At least now, at least let's just, even when they condemn you, even when you're going to die, they still give you a lawyer.
Of course, now
So
fearing.
the honorable, yes, I'll see me and my politeness. The honorable, but there's nothing honorable about the Minister of Information, Lying Muhammad, said that why should they ban the presidents that after all Nnamdi Kanu also tweets, was comparing the presidency with Nnamdi Kanu and saying no, why should they ban him? So I mean, try to convince us that yes, Buhari's tweet was so bad and he needed to be banned. Femi.
Okay. Anyways, these days I try as much as possible to be a man of few words, but Nigeria has a way of getting to you at every point. You just end up, becoming a political analyst on issues. And everyone has spoken well. In fact, but I have an issue with Comrade George Will. In fact, I'm fighting him from now. You cannot take a governor to the cleaners like that and then still regard him as His Excellency. There's nothing excellent about all those things you said. You finished the man and then you said, His Excellency, we are sorry.
Come.
Yeah.
Come. This man is living in Rivers State too. He's not living in the United States of America. So please leave him alone.
He said he's living in the troubled waters of Rivers State. I like those adjectives. Anyways, another thing that we are not looking at here, which I will try to bring here before I answer your question, also acting as the devil's advocate here, is that, and it concerns Dr. Chidi. It's not just Twitter. They did not just come for Twitter. There was a part in that statement that said the NBC should start licensing over-the-top platforms.
Yes, so
I know they are coming for you. You are the first platform
I know.
brought down. Worship media. They'll bring out worship media. When they are done with worship media, they'll go on Sarah TV. You see, all those ones will go.
I'm begging them. They don't even know. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something interesting. I was so upset. You know that time after NSAS, they brought out a list of people that are not supposed to travel. They blacklist. I looked for my name. My name was not there. I was not happy. I needed that kind of publicity. So now, please, let them put worship media as one of the. Let them censor us. You need that kind of a thing. Let them censor us, please.
Of course, everyone will then start queuing at the minister's office for license. It all this points to the fact that, like we said in the press statements issued by the African Action Congress, that all this are pointing to the fact that we are now in full-blown fascism. There's no, gainsaying about it. We are in full-blown fascism. So comparing what Nnamdi Kanu tweeted and also what the president said in a video, actually, because it was first a video before the transcript was brought on, Twitter. Sure. And so at each time when people even brought it out to say, at each time when Nnamdi Kanu tweets things that are against the Twitter community, Twitter brings it down. You understand? Brings it down, and then they send him rules and all that. They do that to almost everybody. But what is interesting here is the president of the United States, Trump, got his accounts suspended. His tweet was not deleted. But then a man who does not even understand how to operate Android phone is going, in fact, who does not have a functional email address is now going ahead to, you see, it's worrisome. It's very embarrassing. So it's what Nigerians should understand at this time is that it is just what we have with this ban on Twitter operations and on OTT and social media platform is just like you're writing a book and then you're starting with the preface. So because when you're done with that, you would open several chapters. So that is what this government is doing. In that statement, we made it very clear that while other governments of other countries are trying, to fare better when it comes to press freedom and media freedom. The Nigerian government is just trying to, outshine itself, rank better. Did I just say rank better? Rank, poorer, beat its own record in going down, down, and down. You see, it's even very funny. How do you ban a platform and you go on that platform to announce ban? You can't even, because how do you ban a platform and you cannot even tell us how the ban is going to work? Because now it is just audio banning. You can't ban a platform and we don't understand. For now, it's just so stupid because we don't understand how the ban is going to work. What exactly would happen with Twitter? Because I just read it now that Twitter, the policy communications manager has replied to the Nigerian government that they are in shock. That they are in shock. That they are trying to investigate the issue. Investigating the issue means that they are still trying to understand how the ban is going to work. How do you?
The funny thing is, I'm wondering, Nigeria, almost everything you do, you borrow. We don't have satellite. Our communication will depend on.
Can we just laugh this off? Because it's so stupid. How do till now we do not understand how the ban is going to work. We don't understand. Nobody, even Twitter, they are in shock.
Oh,
now, what's that? How do you ban us on our platform? Please, can we just continue this discussion?
The funny thing is, we don't even have another place that we can announce it to the whole world. So what if they take down?
Another place, so there's another place, so.
Hello, comrades.
Go ahead, Joshua.
I think that what the government wants to do is to instruct communication companies to disengage Twitter accounts, as in Nigerians who, as people are based in Nigeria, who uses their network, to operate Twitter. They will just give them directives and ask that they disengage that application. I think that's what they want to. And that is
the serious tyrannical government will do that first.
So I agree with
Femi. Double jeopardy.
I agree with Femi that we have gone to full-blown tyranny. This is fascist, and this fascism. That's what we want to do. But again, I think I'm coming from the UK said something that is very important. The character of the Nigerian people and the quality, with due respect to Nigerians, the quality of our citizenry and how we respond to some of these things. For instance, if any communication company who dares to block us from using the application, it's very simple. What we do is to stop using that network. If we won't die. Stop using that network. And let's see if that company will not crash in 3 days. So it's very about quality of citizenry and our willingness to participate in political activities, our willingness to participate in governance. Again, another thing I would like to say so I don't forget. Those of us who are involved in political mobilization and political education, civil education, and what have you, I think too that we should really understand the Nigerian audience and communicate properly. Well, and this is the truth. There are certain words that have been demonized. Yes, they are our words. They are our words, and we should run away from them. But sometimes too is that you look at your environment, you still have your armor with you, but then you play on the environment. We have an environment that is very catchy in nature. For example, we can make one of the running points in mobilizing is to say that, okay, we are protesting or we are demonstrating against the federal government because they banned Twitter. Straight up. And leave our usual slogan of saying revolution now. So I'm not against it. Of course, I've marched on a banner here in Rivers State and, of course, elsewhere. But I think that we should understand our audience, because the only way we can make maximum impact too is to make sure that we get as much people as we can on the streets. You get the point. So another thing again that is very, very right is insecurity. In fact, this security thing is even downplayed in the South and in Port Harcourt. And like my governor always say, each time you raise the issue of insecurity in River State, he will tell you are marketing marketing mistake. What is the reality on ground that is boiling internally? As I speak to you, police have taken over the whole of your good area. They are kidnapping people on the daily. The first class monarch and Anthony was just released very recently, and Amen picked him and said that he is conniving politicians to steal the resources of family people. Therefore, they will be releasing on the condition that he's going to tell these politicians to make sure that the people get to court, people get employment, people get all that. Another prominent monarch in Andon in December in the River State, as I speak to him for the past 1 week plus, he is still in the hands of kidnappers. As I speak to you, several communities in Andon have been sacked. Most of them are no more in their villages. It is a community called Oyeda in Andoni is entirely sacked. As I speak to you, they are not taking refuge in close by Ogoni village. As I speak to you, there is harvesting of human parts in River State. That's a new business. Where some people say that it is politicians that are involved. Some people say it is people who are selling human parts in the international market. But as I speak to you, people use buses, carry people, and before you know it, they point a gun at you and they take you to somewhere they call a chain. And either it's two ways. Is there people pay between the range of 3 to 10 million naira to get you out of that place, or in alternative, they will butcher you in front of everybody, and you will see people using cooler. People who have escaped have testified. They will be using cooler to buy different parts of the body. According to those who survived and they made from survivors, at least we have gotten 3 persons to survive that did a video shoot and spread on the internet. If you want, I can still make it available to you guys. They say that in their presence, they butcher people and sell different parts in this River State. And in all of this, the governor has said nothing. Actually, nothing. I said, this, we do respect to His Excellency, Femi would not agree with me, we do respect to His Excellency, the governor of River State. We have a very loud governor. Some people say loquacious governor, who talks about almost everything, who gets involved in almost every petty politics, who have all the responses and the words for every political rival, political enemy. Yet, this governor, as I speak to you, this thing has been happening, viral videos have been going on, the governor has said absolutely nothing. So we are saying that you should equally set down the point of kidnapping and insecurity. Kidnapping and insecurity. And that's why raising the campaign of a person because of our banning of Twitter. Another point again that can mobilize and Nigerians and Rivers people are, of course, the issue of insecurity and the kidnapping. Then, of course, again, we only have a governor who have the penchant to threaten workers. We have a governor who have the penchant to threaten you that if you don't do his bidding, he won't pay workers. For instance, this one is on strike. Of course, for those of you who are in Aero, this one is the body responsible for judicial workers, and they are on strike nationally. And one of the key reasons why they are on strike is because these governors have refused to sign that the judiciary there should be judicial autonomy. Several sections of our constitution guarantees that. Then beyond that, there is even a valid court order. Yet these governors have violated this court order because, of course, they want to be law of the manor, they want to control everybody. Then, while this strike is going on, as I speak to you now, the governor have threatened judicial workers that if they don't open the courts this month, this June, he won't be there. And nothing will happen. Just the ones you read, nothing will happen. That's the style. Nothing will happen. Another case in point, teachers of demonstration schools in River State owned Normal public school owned by university tertiary institutions. As some people call it demonstration schools, some call it staff schools. These schools have documents to show that they are employees of the university government. In fact, some of them have been employed before the government even entered the university to study any course. But this governor came in and in 2016 stopped paying these teachers. Over 250 something teachers, stopped paying them without any court order, without arbitrarily, he just stopped paying these teachers. These teachers went to the industrial court. The industrial court said, for God's sake, these are your teachers, go and pay them. That same day, the Rivers State governor, the agents of the Rivers State government appealed the matter to the Court of Appeal. The Court of Appeal graciously last year, specifically in October, equally said that you have no right whatsoever to stop the salaries of these persons. These are properties of the Rivers State government. Yet, as I speak to you, we have led at least 4 protests in the Rivers State government house on monthly basis. Of course, I will still go ahead this particular month. Yet, the Rivers State government have refused to pay. I'm talking about the governor who is a lawyer. I'm talking about a governor who is a member of the body of benchers. He valid. And let me put this on record. The Court of Appeal is the highest court as far as industrial matters are concerned. What I mean is that when there is a dispute between a worker and any institution, you cannot take the matter to the Supreme Court. It ends at the Court of Appeal. So the matter has been settled at the level of the Court of Appeal, but yet the Rivers State governor refused to obey the court that made him governor. It is that bad. It is bad. It does there. So part of what we are going to are issues that surround employment, and of course, arbitrariness in the stoppage of salaries, just as he has done so. The local government in the West, where the local government chairman unilaterally stopped the payment of workers for the about 100 and something workers. As speak to you for the case of the governor for demonstration. For the past 5 years, you can imagine he has refused to pay them. Yeah.
Will you agree with us, or let me say, will you agree with? Can you hear me?
I'm with you. Yeah. I'm with you.
Okay. Can we just agree that the way out of all of these things you've said is a revolution, and we should bring it under that banner of the revolution? You said something earlier, which I agree partly with, which is the fact that to mobilize people, we have to, cascade, come down to their level, bring some of the issues, mobilize the specific issues, insecurity, economy, and all of that. But in a case where you now have all of these issues, like you said, you started in your discussion. Do you know that you started with insecurity? Now you've ended with industrial issues. That's so. But so for some of us, we've now seen it to the point that instead of picking on issues, there is a need to crush that system that has given birth to all of these issues. And that's the reason why we come under the umbrella of revolution, which I know you understand. But I just need to do this so that you can also agree in this discussion, so that our audience also can understand.
Yeah. Okay. Let us be clear that there is no pretense. Yes. Nigeria is ripe for a revolution. But again, I think too that there is no straight cut. It's my opinion though, and it's debatable. Nigeria, there is no straight cut rule to doing a revolution. But by that I mean we can have a revolution of the ballot or a mass uprising. It depends on the environment. For instance, if you look at what happened Venezuela, you go Chavez Venezuela. He tried the military system, he tried mobilizing people, but finally it was when they denied him his victory at the elections, that was what made people to move to the streets and block and insisted that he must be president. So the point I am trying, and if you watch the history of this of Venezuela that I've mentioned, we have similar history, long military rule, imperialist regime presiding and supervising over them, and so on and so forth. So sometimes when the Nigerian people have been so much in bondage to the point that even to move them is very difficult. The problem is, how do we move them? And when you move them with words that are demonized, when you move them with things they cannot easily communicated, they cannot really relate with, it's difficult. It's difficult. They don't relate with it. They struggle to understand. And because of the way the world have demonized those words. What I mean, the world, I'm talking about our local internal rulers who parade as leaders. I'm not even talking about our internal colonizers. I'm not even talking about the way the world, as an international capital and imperialism internationally, has even demonized the world revolution. So much so that when you begin to use it to mobilize people have a kind of, as if, it has demonized. But when you get to the specifics, it gets clearer. People get related with it easily. And some, not all, anyway, no matter how simplistic you put it, people that will not come out will still not come out. Okay. But at least the communications will be clearer, and some persons will buy into it. So that's what I think.
All right. Just before we go on, I want to share this with a very interesting discussion. I want to share this with our viewers and our listeners. Just in case we have to be proactive when the government finally decides to shut down Twitter. If you're not able to receive Twitter or any social media platform, please do this. You need to go to the App Store or Play Store, type free VPN in the search box, download any of the top 5 results, open the app and install it. Now, from the list of available countries, choose a location other than Nigeria or the Republic of Federal African Nation. Then after that, you connect and you'll be tunneled through that country. That means you can put Canada, you can put UK, you can put Brazil, any other country, but not Nigeria. You'll be able to continue using whatever social media platform that you want to use. I had to quickly share this information because nobody knows what will happen in the days to come. All right, so I hope it is useful to anybody out there.
Very useful.
So, Citizen Chidi, you're saying leave Nigeria by electronically, digitally, any which way you can. You must leave Nigeria. Is that what you're advocating?
No,
that's plan.
That's revolutionary talk.
Yeah. But fundamentally speaking, I think as Nigerians, we can't continue running away from our problems. You see, now they're on Twitter, they are going for YouTube, they are going for particularly all our social media platforms. And the moment we continue to run away to VPN, the moment we don't resist this, they are coming for the constitution next.
No, I'm not. No, try to understand me. Look.
No, I got your point. Dr. Chidi, I got your point. Your point is very clear. That even the SI have VPN. But I'm also just saying that nonetheless, that Nigerians should really be prepared to resist these attacks on their freedom of expression, because the next thing they are coming for will be the constitution.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and I want to add something to that. It has always been the way, when government comes for this, people try to look for another way to boycott, which has always laid credence, maybe until recently, that particular maxim was broken. It has laid credence to that fact that when you push a Nigerian to the wall, instead of fighting back, it then breaks the wall to see if there's another way around. That was how, when they came for NSAS, the funding, people said, okay, they froze accounts. Okay, let us do cryptocurrency. They came for cryptocurrency also. You understand? So we cannot continue to, look for simple solutions out of our problems. And that's, I just want to add that.
No, I understand that. But you see, what you must do when you are in a battle is to modify your strategy. Now, your enemy has discovered if you, I actually looked beyond this ban on Twitter. I looked at the June 12th protest, and it occurred to me that no wonder they're in a hurry to stop Twitter, because these are the avenues through which we mobilize. We use social media to mobilize. Social media is one of the strong, in fact, that's the strongest tool of mobilization that we have. So if they're able to block you from using social media and you're totally handicapped, they've dealt a heavy blow on you. But while you're mobilizing, we are planning, we're going to come out, we're going to resist them, but we have to have a way to make sure that we are still using that vehicle. It's like you need to bring everybody to a place where you're going to fight your enemy, and your enemy punctures your tires. You need to have another way of getting to that place. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying we should stop, but it is good to know these ways of circumventing whatever obstacle they put.
Circumventing their madness.
Oh yes, they are really mad.
But one thing we must agree: what the so-called government is doing is making revolution inevitable at every turn. Whether we're doing anything which is seen as standard in any other society, is being blocked. So it's all leading us to one route, and that route
revolution.
The revolution.
Buhari is the greatest mobilizer for the revolution.
Honestly, he's the greatest mobilizer. And George Will, let me tell you something. See,
mobilization.
Whether you agree or you don't agree, or it sounds, do you know when this thing that Nigerians say, like, no, you use another language. This one is so hard. This one is too aggressive. This one is too not. The one they are feeling, the thing they are feeling is worse than even any language. Which
language
other
like
language
I use now?
They are killing you. They are cutting your body. They are shooting you. Which other one? Okay, let's invent another word that is not revolution to explain it to them. But it will still be the same thing.
Dance now or eat now.
Jubilation.
Or jubilation.
Yes, that's what it is. So people, we need to come out. We are in a position where you can still walk and come out. There will soon be a time when they've taken everything. They will take your legs. They will take your arms. They will take your eyes. What will you be able to do then?
Comrades, just that so that I'm not misconstrued. I personally don't have issues with the word revolution. In fact, as far as I'm concerned, the revolution is in its early stage. Whether you call it revolution or not, what you are seeing are signs of revolutionary tendencies. I am not scared of the word. I am theoretically clear as to what it is and what it should be. I am only telling you that, especially in the part of the world, part of the country, depending on what you say my country is, I've stressed that severally. Depending on what you say my country is, where we come from, a lot of things play major role. Religion, a lot of things, and these revolutionary tendencies are very low down here. You understand? I know that it's almost generic, but I'm just being particular about my environment. The truth is, no matter the words you use, no matter how simple these words are, those that will not come out will still not come out. I agree. But there are those that if you, let's say for instance, that we say that we pick 5 keywords and say, Nigerians say no. I'm just giving an instance. Nigerians say no. Nigerians say no campaign. And we list 5, 6 key things, especially that are correct. There are some persons that ordinarily wouldn't have marched under the banners of revolution. Few though, but you need numbers. There are some persons that would ordinarily come out. But there are some persons who would have come out, but would come out because they are marching under the banner of revolution. Not because what they are doing in itself is not revolutionary tendencies or because what they are doing, but the word alone, have been so demonized that because of the level of hot charcoal poured on it. Yeah, so that's the point. So let's just be clear. So it's not about me. It's about the mass and how I interpret how they think.
So
I made it wrong.
Are we saying that the Nigerians, or whatever we wish to call ourselves, are fearful? Are we scared? Is that what we're saying? We're scared of the consequences. And are we more scared of what's happening or scared of the consequences of what's going to happen?
I can tell you for free. And if others who are in Nigeria will agree with me, yes, Nigerians are scared. So, and people like that are not people you mobilize under that banner. In fact, let me give my predictions about Nigeria. It will be easier to do a revolution in Nigeria through the ballot. How do I mean? Assuming that Nigeria agrees that Juwon is somebody they will rally around, and Nigerians agree to rally around Juwon, and the INEC fail to maybe Juwon contest elections, and INEC refuse to announce Juwon. It will be easier to move if Nigerians believe in Juwon. It will be easier to move Nigerians at that point. But I'm just giving my own analysis.
Let me say, I totally disagree with you. Let me tell you why I disagree.
I'm glad you said that.
Commemoration of June 12.
Do you know? Do you what you're trying to say is a reenactment of Imo State. Use Imo State as a case point if you think that is possible. Why do I say Imo State? Imo State is proof that the Nigerian state is willing. They have so many levels that they are willing to go with you. So after they have selected who they want, and you get angry, because we've been through all this before. You get angry and you do revolution now, you do NSAS. What else are you going to do that is as big as NSAS? You do NSAS, they wait for you, when you finish, they will go to Supreme Court and get their judgment. What are you going to do? Will you be able to do another NSAS? See how difficult it is to mobilize people after NSAS.
My own intervention to this is even very simple. You know what I feel that our invention of the revolutionary campaign was more or less like being foresighted. It was as though we had known that the country was going to be plunged into two options: an option of total barbarism and a revolutionary alternative. We never knew that the ethnic strife would be this terrible. Or should I say, I don't use we never knew. It was as though we foresaw that we are going to be left with a situation where Nigerian people were going to be polarized along ethno-religious lines, such that the narrative, such that a false narrative that our problem is Fulani man, our problem is that we have to see. That narrative was there, where every Nigerian person or every person started saying that, oh, this Fulani man is my enemy, oh, this Igbo man is my enemy. But meanwhile, this is me and Dr. Chidi here. We don't have problems. I have a lot of Igbo friends. I have a lot of Fulani friends as well. I have friends from different parts of the country. So for them, so it was more or less as though that as far back as 2019, we have told the Nigerian people that, look, the problem we have are Nigeria's ruling class organized across all ethno-religious, along all ethnic group, that our option to this crisis is a revolution. You understand? And like I always say, people have the legitimate reasons, legitimate grounds and rights to call for secession. You understand? But for some of us, we had long put out an alternative to secession as far back as 2019, an alternative that unites us across all ethnic group that unites all of us as oppressed persons. We have not foreseen this situation, and that was why you say, like, there's this book by Rosa Luxemburg. Rosenberg she was a German theoretician. And her book, what she wrote, was more or less as though she was in Nigeria of 2021. You understand? And I can paraphrase. It is either you have a revolution or barbarism. And unfortunately, that is the situation we are in now. So if we had not talked about a revolution in 2019, it will be difficult for us as a movement to provide an alternative to the ethnic strife within the country that is so intense as we have it now. So that's my view to this issue. And lastly, conclusively, there is one thing that I would like to put forward, and it is that whatever position we push as activists, as revolutionaries, sometimes, in fact, generally truth at the first instance, it is at the first instance rejected, as someone said. It's at the first instance rejected. It is then blackmailed for, I'm paraphrasing this thing, and later before it becomes accepted. Truth of the matter is that long before 2019, long before 2019, our predecessors, as far back as during the colonial regime, have been saying that the solution to Nigeria's crisis is a revolution. They thought Labour leader number one, what is his name, Michael Emodu, said it in 1946. People who fought the military regime said that the solution to Nigeria's crisis is a revolution. They were saying it. You understand? Even the Kupi said it's a revolution. Towards the close to the 1.5 decade of Nigeria's so-called democracy, I like to describe as civilian dictatorship, people said the alternative we have to Nigeria's problem is a revolution. But you know what? It's just this was the very, very first time. 2019 was the very, very first time that a group and an organization now said that, okay, what we have been saying for about 6 decades, but we now need to march in defense of and in correctness of. Well, we are not the first person who talked about a revolution. We are just the first person who said that, no, let us eventually march for a revolution. And you know the beauty of it? The beauty of it is that for the very first time, over 5 million persons started searching for Google, Google to know the meaning of revolution. And that, see, if we did not even win anything out of it, it is that we educated people we educated people about what a revolution actually means. We brought in a revolutionary consciousness into this country, something that never was. You see, if we had just had a conference in one room and we were discussing with Mr. Barrister Falano, and Barrister Falano was blowing big grammar, legal grammar, political grammar, Marxist grammar, the government would not even break a sweat. Nobody would know that nothing is happening, because Falano would not be the person to be talking about revolution. In fact, when it comes to talking about revolution, even Shore came late to the scene. There are several people before Shore who are talking about revolution. But it is like there was this man, Alan Wood. Alan Wood made the statement. He said the only reason why Russia was so blackmailed by the West after 1917, the only reason Russia was so blackmailed by the Western powers was not because Russia had a revolution. I mean, France also had a revolution in 1789. That was not the reason. The reason the West so much detested Russia was because for the very first time, the people defeated the ruling class. You understand? So this is the perspective I feel we should look at it. And as time goes on, look at things we have now. Buhari is banning Twitter very soon. Everybody's feast will be up, and we will all be calling for revolution. Nobody will need to put talk.
Let me help you want to summarize.
Yes.
You know, I'm a man of few words, so let me just summarize what Juwon has said. You see, I understand Comrade George Will's position. Very clear that we need to be specific. You know, we need to talk to people in the language they understand. Because this is it. To be frank with him, you cannot do revolution on behalf of the people. It's not possible. Yeah. You can do it. Yes, you have to. The people must be ready. That's another thing people must also get correctly, even as activists. You don't fight for the people. You fight with the people. You don't fight for the people. It's very wrong to say you fight for the people. No, you fight with the people. But one thing we must understand, which is the summary here, is that the oppressor must not be allowed. The oppressor, under any condition, must not be allowed to dictate to the oppressed how the oppressed would free themselves. That's just the summary of everything. So we must not fall into the blackmail of this, this word is just too ambiguous, it's too violent. Is this? People are using more violent words against this government in their rooms than the word revolution.
Exactly.
If you want to know very well, go to any beer parlor. Today is Friday. If you want, you know what I'm talking about. Go to any beer parlor, any
Why did you call my name? What is that?
and just mention and just say, you don't have to say too much. Just say, this country. Maybe you say this country, everybody is going to take up the discussion from you. Or just say, Buhari. Everybody, the whole discussion will become a symposium. And then you will start, in fact, to hear deeper things, stronger words that will be used against the government than the word revolution. But one thing we must understand is that we've been able to educate people, massify the movements, the call for a revolution. Everybody is saying it now in the country that there's just a need to shut down this system that is giving fruit, that is bearing more fruit to all these things that Comrade George is talking about: insecurity, industrial action, labor right, abuse of labor, violation of labor rights, and all of that. It is a system that needs to be crushed. It's as simple as that.
So,
All right.
citizen,
See,
there's
go ahead, Bola. After you.
There's a simple point which we overlook, which kind of speaks to the fear that people have. Revolution is not a destination; it's a starting point from where follows your freedom. So you must have a revolution en route to secession. You must have revolution en route to freedom. That must precede everything else, whether we give it the name revolution or not. It is the people taking over the powers of state to redistribute them to whatever system they agree upon. That's what we're really talking about. The people who are custodians of state at this point in time are not fit and proper people to be in that position. We are trying every other route, whether it, as one speaker said, democracy, which we know, as you said, in Imo State, you just appoint somebody at Supreme Court. There is no election. There has never been election in Nigeria. Let's be honest with ourselves. What we need to do is to have a root and branch uptake of the entire system and realign it with something else. So revolution is the starting point to every other destination where we wish to get to.
Yeah, thank you so much.
No.
You see,
Abiola was
the point that
this ballot revolution. I'm very sure he will be shaking his head.
No,
What do you mean?
the
no,
point I
no,
want to
no,
make,
no.
ladies and
Abiola,
gentlemen, is
Abiola
this.
Dr. Chidi, before you make your point, I want to crack a little joke here. And it's a joke from Twitter. Just a little joke before you make your point. Twitter said, "Dear at M. Buhari, we have no idea who you are or what country you are leading. We have come across a tweet that violates our rule number 4 of safety and freedom and removed it."
Period. We don't know. We don't even know who he is. Anyway,
does he even know who he is?
So
does Buhari know where he is now?
To the point I want to make, guys. To the point I want to make, just so we are all on the same level. I understand what Judge Will is saying, and this is where I want us to also spend more time and invest our energy. It's the fact that we need to try as much as possible and be consciously tending towards the direction of breaking down what we're telling people. Some people think that revolution is a designed event. There's a way it's supposed to happen, and they think it is you that designed it. And then sometimes they don't even know. It's like going to a crusade. If you invite them to a crusade, they know what to expect. If you invite them to a birthday party, they know what to expect from the birthday party. So sometimes when we are saying our revolution, they think it is something above their head. You guys have come out with this concept that they don't understand. So the job that is set before us is the job of trying to let people understand that the revolution has already started. In fact, what is going on in Imo State right now, the situation has gone beyond a revolution. When we did end SARS, it was a revolution. It was nothing short of a revolution. That's what it was. So people need to understand that they are, look at what happens now. Whenever I've seen so many times when the police wants to do engage in some illegal arrest, and you see people gather, they say, no way, no, we know. In fact, what they now do, they just start shouting NSAS, NSAS. Okada people do that a lot. So people need to understand that if they don't want to hear revolution, no problem, call it protest. If you don't want to call it protest, call it resistance, call it whatever you like, but it is this understanding that enough is enough. That thing that you're feeling, it is not us that cause the pain now. You are the one that is complaining about pain. Like Femi said, enter any bar, talk now. People will just reel out their pains and their frustration. And his offer to them is, if the thing pain you, show say it pain you now. That's all. If you don't like her, do something. That's all we are asking you for. So if you don't like revolution, maybe we should change it to do something. I bet come on Saturday and do something. Show say they pain you. Forget the revolution. Maybe that revolution they cause the problem. Oh yeah, we want to organize, do something protest.
Do something protest.
So I want
do
to
something protest. Let's come to the streets.
Come to the street protest and do something. But anyways, gentlemen, we've stayed here for some time now. We should be planning to go, and but Juwan, we have to make sure that we bring a lady tomorrow. Otherwise, they are going to sue us.
Yeah, I think we need a lady.
Yeah, so tomorrow we're gonna bring a lady here. But before we go, Judge Will, I want you to, because we're focusing on Rivers State, and we know that Wike is a bad man. He's not a good man. Sorry to say. Nami Tokan. Tell us Nami Tokan. A very bad man. Now, we know how he messed up our party, AAC. He's complicit to the illegality and criminality that is obtainable in Nigeria right now. And I don't even know whether I should ask you to speak to that. But just as we begin to wind down, I want you to just speak to your Rivers people and then just invite them to the Friday protest. And then we'll begin to round up with 1 minute each.
Yeah, I thank you, comrade. There is no gainsaying. There is no need of exaggerating it. A lot of things are just are wrong in Nigeria. A lot of things are wrong in Rivers State. For instance, as we speak, despite the fact that Rivers State is not a hotbed for this unknown government atrocities, as I speak to you, the entire Rivers State is under 8:30 p.m. lockdown in a constitutional democracy. If there are security breaches, what government should do is to provide security. Put policemen all over the River State, put them at the checkpoints, provide gadgets to fight and combat crime. Build industries that will make people gainfully employed. All of these are not done. As I speak to you, in fact, as I'm talking to you now, I am locked in the house. I can't step out in a constitutional democracy. So I don't even need to overemphasize the reason why we need to protest. We have the governor. In fact, now people are calling him flyover governor now. No industry, no nothing. You just use billions of naira to build overhead bridge and call it flyovers. And people are dying of hunger. In fact, I can tell you for free that 90% of this security crisis we have in Rivers State is economic insecurity, lack of job. The biggest job young Rivers people have in Rivers State is Bet Niger and loading vehicles at the bus stops. That's the biggest employer of labor. Then the next thing is a political thuggery and carrying bags for politicians. These are the jobs that are available in Rivers State. So the jobs are available. For how many years now they say they are building a company somewhere around the Oibo that company from our findings was even started by Shell and the previous government. They just managed to provide their own counterpart funding to conclude that company. They are very also employing people. And there's no job. The glass industry is under lock and key. It is not working. Several other parboard house, several other moribund industries under lock and key. The ones are not created. We have been saying that we live in the 21st century. In Rivers State here, we have whiz kids. We have children who if you direct them towards IT, they are going to do marvelously well. We are seeing that and these young men have been creating content on their own. Pool resources, create a scientific park, create a technology park. The government is not doing it. In fact, the governor practically runs Rivers State from his back pocket. He can just go to a church and maybe there was hold up in that area, and they will say in the church that, well, that hold up is too much. We are going to build flyover for you people, and before you know, flyover will be built in Akpaju, and that's it. Sometimes these flyovers are even built in very trackable distance. Like for example, the flyovers between Garrison to water lines is trackable. You can just, I am very sure, 500 steps you move from one flyover to another. I don't even think even in Hero you have this level of craziness for flyovers because you have good resources and you are looking for where to filter them from. You have another 78 billion naira or so that the federal government released because of old projects done by previous regimes. You think you can just spend these monies anyhow you like. And more like as if it's a state policy. Poverty is a weapon to keep everybody poor. And then, like the governor will say, you can't do anything. So we are saying that Rivers people who have been hearing our voice through different platforms should do well to come out and march against unemployment and march against insecurity. The level of insecurity down there is very, 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 very high in the Niger Delta. In fact, for Akpabio to go and visit Tompolo, they're very funny. Tompolo in Barmatu in Delta State, he had to go with 5 gunboats without a war. So that is, but they want to paint these things, and make it look like the insecurity situation is not in Rivers State and in the Niger Delta. It's only in the north and maybe now in the east because of the unknown gunmen. But that is not true. There is high level of insecurity. In fact, almost all the streets in Rivers State are now gated. You now have gates. Rivers State used to be the state where you can move from one backyard and you get another backyard of another compound. But as I speak to you now in Rivers State, gates are everywhere. So the point I'm trying to make is that narrowing down distance on the issues of unemployment, on the issues of insecurity, on the issues of even a lack of proper communications of government policy to the ordinary people. And when the governor, more like runs the government from his back pocket like ourselves. Without a town hall meeting, no conversation, no nothing. He just feels that nothing will be done. Just like in other states, the state judiciary is locked up. So all those who have issues are all suffering and still crying in their houses. The legislature is under lock and key, and the government is doing nothing. So we are saying that JUSUM workers, we are saying that legislative workers, we are saying that workers are ordinary Rivers people who have been deprived one way or the other, who are suffering from these issues of insecurity, should do well to come out and state their case.
All right, thank you so much, comrades. Let's just round up in 1 minute because we really overshot. Go ahead, Comrade Bola. No, you need to unmute yourself.
We have to remember when we say Buhari must go, Buhari is the figurehead of an oppressive regime that has taken the naira from when he came into office from some 250 naira to the pound to 700 to the pound, from less than 150 to 500 for the dollar. So what he's done and his regime have done has robbed the people of their livelihood. Buhari is in a position where if we, the people, can remove him, we show to the cabal that we still have power. And what we need to do is to show that we, the citizens, are in charge, not that this cabal who have come from wherever they've come from to enjoy the dividends of Nigeria for themselves, for individuals, to buy houses across the world, Dubai, London, New York, Paris, buy private jets, buy millions of pounds of jewelry. And yet people don't have enough to be able to give themselves even a reasonable a living standard. So we need to go out while we still have strength, not waiting until you're starving and you can't move. You need to move now. So do whatever it is that you can do. I'm not sending anybody out to go along and cause themselves harm, but go and do whatever it is that you can do. If you can't go to the street, go and do what you can do, but don't sit and do nothing. Do something.
All right, thank you. Femi.
All right. So Nigerians, it's just time. Seriously, it's time to say, it's game up. Game up for these guys who are, destroying this country. And as we have it today, it is not a matter of if Nigeria would happen to you. It's a matter of when. We are all just on a long queue to taste oppression. We're just on a very long queue. So you should not wait till it gets to you. You should not wait until your relative is kidnapped. You start, looking for ransom in a country that pays 18,000 minimum wage. And even that minimum wage is not coming steadily. We have states where they pay through, someone said something, they said, Undo people, by the time we get to the month end, you start drawing charts, pie charts. So it's in percentages. You get your salary in percentage. You understand? It's the same thing for Kogi, the same thing in Ekiti, many places like that. So it is not an issue of if, it is an issue of when. And so by the 12th of June, Nigerians all over the world must troop out, and say it is game up for these guys destroying our space.
Yes, Comrade Juan.
Yes, so to our viewers, I have two different messages from two different great philosophers I respect so much. One of them is Spinoza. He says, ours is not to lament, but to understand. So if Nigeria if we were to be writing a Bible, another Bible again, and there should be a book of lamentations, I'm sure it would not end. Like they say in Nigeria, problem no dey finish. So we are not in a time to lament, but to understand the situation and then move from agonizing to organizing. So June 12th is another time to organize, and let us organize in protest against this regime. It could be earlier than June 12th, even if we decide to troop out a mass. Hey, I'll be the happiest man alive. Even this night, we will join, but June 12th has been fixed. Let's all put that in perspective and organize. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. And let me also speak to every other person who is out there thinking that we're not able to speak in a certain way. Let me speak to you. And what am I saying? I want to talk to my Biafran brother. I want to talk to my Biafran sister. I want to talk to my Oduduwa brother, Oduduwa sister, Middle Belt, and Niger Delta, wherever you are. Special respects to all of you. You must understand what we're trying to do with Revolution Now, with the Take It Back movement, is that we are trying to make sure that everybody's rights are guaranteed. Our frustration, our disappointment, our anger, our annoyance is that within the Nigeria that we find ourselves today, if you ever mention that you want to exercise your right to self-determination, they will kill you. And what we're saying is that it is wrong. If you ever mention that, oh, you want a referendum, you want a right to decide whether you still want to be in this marriage, they will kill you like they are doing right now in Imo State. We are saying that everybody has a right to be whatever they want to be. We want a very surgical revolution so that we will get these people to be able to listen to our demands. So that's why we are calling everybody to join hands on June 12th. You know very well, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has said this several times, that only a revolution will make this thing work. If you don't like the word revolution, just come out and let us join hands together to give a very clear red card to this administration. Let them know that we are tired of them. We don't want them. Buhari, whatever represents Buhari, whether the mannequin, whether the dead one, whether the one with anyone, whether the one that is Asu Rock, anyone, anyhow, that whether the presidency, anything that represents Buhari for you, we want to tell him to pack and go. Him and his people, they should just go. The way they are going, see how Twitter said they don't even know. Twitter said they don't even know who he is. I've never seen. Can you imagine? See how they just treat somebody who's supposed to be president of Nigeria. Say, we don't know who you are. You don't matter. You don't even address, like, you don't even matter. You see how far these people have brought us. They brought us to like Femi said, we are struggling for position under. So please.
Facebook just deleted this post too. That same post, Facebook has deleted it.
Okay.
So maybe they're going to
let us remove this man before this man remove us. So.
Comrades. Hello, comrade.
Yeah.
Yeah, comrade Chidi, you do me a favor. Please share that steps to should, in case one wants to use another country to still be involved in Twitter. Please share the steps with Juwon. Juwon will share with me.
Okay. Don't worry. We're going to share those steps to.
Seeking Plan B already.
Share it with Juwon. Juwon will share with me. Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to share.
You are planning to run away from Nigeria.
It's Plan B.
Plan B, Twitter Plan B. We're going to share Twitter Plan B. Twitter Plan B coming up. Watch out on all our social media handles. We're going to share Twitter Plan B very soon. All right, everybody. Thank you so much, Comrade Bola. Thank you so much.
Revolution!
Yeah, no. Yeah, revolutionary greetings, comrades. Revolutionary greetings, comrades.
All right, take care, everybody. See you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.
All right, bye.
All right.